Well, welcome everybody to Los Angeles Lakers Training Camp 2017 in our new building. Hopefully you guys are enjoying the new digs. We want to make sure that the hospitality and services we extend to you guys are at the mark of excellence that we're striving for in everything around here. So wanted to welcome you. We're excited about today. You could probably predict that I'll start my remarks with a story, as I often do. Bill Burka is one of our longtime Lakers employees. He's got 5 decades of being around the NBA. And the other day, he kind of shuffled into my office, and I knew he had something on his mind because he just kind of gives you that look, like, I've been thinking about something. And he walked in and he said, 50 years, but I have never seen a young group like this in terms of being back in the off season, working early on their game, being in the weight room, being on the court doing extra stuff. We had moments in time when Lonzo Ball and Brandon Ingram would be diving at half court to get a loose ball. We've seen what players like Julius Randle and Ivica Zubac and Larry Nance have done to transform their bodies. You'll see that today in terms of their body fat and their fitness level. I think the message that Irvin and I tried to share with the exit meetings last year was to come back in world-class fitness. And the whole mentality of this team has been flipped. We see that every day in this building with the energy they bring and how they're working. And Bill Burka took a statement of 50 years of experience and said, this is special. And I'm seeing the shift in mentality here towards competing every day, towards striving for excellence in how you work and sort of how you carry yourself. So the last thing I'll say is I don't know how many people in the room have had a chance to see the musical Hamilton that came to LA a few weeks ago. It's an unbelievable story about how our democracy was formed, and it's set to music, hip-hop music. It's a brilliant piece, but one of the lines that Lin-Manuel Miranda used when Alexander Hamilton was doing one of his songs is that, you know, he's young, he's scrappy, and he's hungry. And I feel like as I was listening to that music that night sitting next to my wife, I thought, man, that is sort of the identity of our Lakers team going into this season. We're young, we're scrappy, and we're hungry. But I think when teams face us, they're going to see a new level of competition and a new level of playing with that level of dedication every night and every moment. We just launched today for the first time a Lakers player app. So it's a beautiful mobile device, and I'm sure we'll send some images out on social media for everyone to see, but it tracks the player's mentality in terms of their body fat and their weight and the points they get on the court for deflections or winning 50-50 balls or taking charges. So that mindset is pervading everything we do here, and I think you'll see it on the court when Luke has the guys out there starting tomorrow and then with our first exhibition game on Saturday night. So I'll open it up to questions from you. Again, thanks for coming and look forward to this. Jim.
Rob, we talked about the youth on this field, and with youth there are life experiences and lessons learned. And I know you like to try and keep politics and sports separate, but you can't these days. What do you think, and do you plan on talking to your young guys about what's happening now between the president and what he said about basketball players and NFL players, and what are your personal thoughts?
Jim, great question. Thanks for that one. I think all of us have to think long and hard about these issues, and what we stand for here is we stand for the absolute protection of the First Amendment rights that the Constitution gives all of us as individuals and as citizens of this great democracy. And we want to create a forum here where our players can express their views and respectfully be listened to and heard. And that's a culture that we want to develop here. And in terms of how our players will address the issues at hand, that's going to really be a player decision. I'm sure Luke and his staff is going to get with our 15, 20 camp guys and address those issues in a locker room, and then come up with a plan that best fits that group of young men, and we'll support that.
Talk about all that's happened with Bill said, et cetera, and the Hamilton ideal of what they are. What is the success then for this youth? What does that translate to? How do you measure this year's success?
That's a great, I said on the radio the other night, everyone likes to say, give a guarantee of victories. And I said, I will give a guarantee. And the guarantee I'll give is that the fans and you guys and women in the room are going to love watching this team, okay? So in terms of hitting that mark, every night you're going to see the competition level is going to be at a 10 out of 10. And we are young and we are developing, and we know that it's going to be a continuum in terms of how that unfolds. But there's going to be major points of engagement to see that process unfold. I think in the off season I had said, you look at a great artist like a young Kendrick Lamar where you hear him for the first time and you're like, wow, that's different. Or a Taylor Swift the first time she pulls out her country guitar and plays on YouTube. When you see our players, that's the feeling you're going to have is, wow, this is something different. This is a new Lakers mentality, and you're going to want to watch that process unfold. So in a roundabout way to answer your question, I think the level of competition every night, if it's not a 10 out of 10, we won't be satisfied.
Hey, Rob, how would you summarize what's happened from Summer League until now with the young players and the coaches here?
We're so proud of what we did in Las Vegas, and I think, again, you have to find excellence and championship mentality in the small things before you can find them in the big things. And Las Vegas was an amazing experience. The energy in that building, for those of you who made it, I've been 20 years in the NBA. I've never experienced that level of energy around Summer League games. I think it's capturing that lightning in a bottle that we felt there and carrying it forward. It was there in this building, as Bill Burkus said. We felt it every day. The heartbeat and the soul of this Lakers team is what happens out there on the court. You know, Jeannie Buss built this UCLA Health Training Center in such a beautiful way that there's really a circle or square around the court. So all of us employees every day, the heartbeat of what we do and the energy that makes us work is the players on the court. And so the Summer League experience started that, and then you saw it these last couple months in the way they worked. And you guys will see it tomorrow when training camp officially opens. But trust me, it's a tidal wave that you can't help but feel, and we're just so excited for our fans to experience that when the games start.
How have you guys have had confidence in Lonzo even before he was out there practicing with these guys? Where have you seen him now that he's been running some practices and working with you guys out here make his mark already, even before the games are starting on this season?
Lonzo's got a really unique style of leadership about him. It's a contagious style of leadership. It's not overly vocal or overly big personality, but just the way he carries himself and his presence. It's kind of a quiet confidence and a humility, and it draws the other guys in. I think it's a leadership style that may be different than other leaders in the NBA, but it's very, very effective. He doesn't like to draw attention to himself, and so you'll see out on the practice court when he's playing in games, because it's not an all about me mentality that he carries, but it's kind of all about us. The guys take his leadership clues in terms of how he's playing. You know, Magic has made it very, very clear that the way we want to play this season is there's two things we're going to hang our anchor on. One is defense. You know, bringing in guys like Contavious Caldwell-Pope, Andrew Bogut, just that have that defensive mentality, multiple players that can permeate your whole culture and your whole team. So defense is number one, and then second is just push and pace. We're going to play fast, and that ball is going to be coming at you. If you don't look over your shoulder for the ball, it might hit you in the back numbers. And I think we saw that in Vegas and how we played, and I think Lonzo clearly is our leader of that style. With our other guards, Tyler Ennis, Jordan Clarkson, Briante Weber, who we'll have in training camp, we've been telling them, you've got to, if you come into the game in the second unit, you've got to continue to push that pace and play that way. So those are the two things that we're going to hang our hat on this season.
Rob, this is the first team you constructed. What did you learn in the process?
Attention to details. I think, we found ourselves right now, we're in this incredible position that is pretty rare in the NBA right now, where we have a really, really, really good young core of players, and then we have extremely healthy cap flexibility. And to accomplish both of those things at the same time is sometimes pretty difficult, but that was Magic's vision, is let's get a great core and let's have cap flexibility. And now we have a chance to go into July 1st, 2018 and see who's in the market and then build our team with those 2 max slots that we have that could be for 2 guys or could be for multiple guys or could be used to re-sign some of our own players. But we have the flexibility to keep the young core intact and then to build with the cap flexibility.
When you keep looking forward to 2018, what's the balance in terms of setting expectations for this team?
Again, for us, I don't think it's going to be a number of wins or where we're at in the standings. It's just that mentality of competing. If our guys, we would not be satisfied if it wasn't a 10 out of 10 every night. If our fans leave the game, if you guys, members of the media community, if you leave the game and you don't feel like our players had a Kobe Bryant or Magic Johnson type mentality, just that I'm leaving everything on the court, then we failed. Because we have to do that every night. That's what we're trying to hold our 15 players accountable to. That's the mark for us as we grow.
Is there a temptation to go after like a veteran, like the Bulls were waiting, I don't think they'd get Dwayne Wade, to go after a veteran to kind of push that goal, I mean, beyond just the competing every night to get a guy who's got that kind of experience, championship experience?
We're really satisfied with our 15 guys that we have right now, Eric. It's a good point, and you're always looking at things, and we turn every stone over to see. But in terms of the veteran leadership, we like KCP and Bogut, Lou Aldang, Corey Brewer. We have older guys with experience. One of the things that was really appealing about Bogut to us is the championship experiences he had in Golden State, playing with Luke, the toughness he brings to the paint. There was an analytic that showed us that the opponent's field goal percentage at the rim against the Lakers was the highest in the league. So we just needed a body down there with length, and so he provides that. And I think he integrates really well. Brook Lopez is another fantastic, veteran player. And if you look at our bigs, there's great versatility. Brook will spread the floor, and he'll just bring that ability to the table. Ivica Zubac is young and growing, is a great offensive player with touch and length, and then Andrew Bogut is sort of a paint protector with championship experience. So we feel like it's a great core, but we don't feel like we need to rush into the market just to sign another veteran voice. We feel really good with the veteran voices we have in place.
Hey, Rob, as you've been watching guys work out here, has anything stood out to you about a particular player's improvement or anything, even as a unit, since you've been in the
I'll be interested to talk to you guys out on the court today and come up at any time. But just the optical test and looking at how these guys look physically is remarkably noticeable. I mean, pay particular attention to even Kyle Kuzma, I think has leaned up in the game. As you look at the great players in the game and how they're built, it's about being lean and explosive and ripped. Look at him. Look at Larry Nance's shoulders and what he did with Gunnar Peterson, who led the charge in our weight room. He was just unbelievable in how he transformed that space. Look at Larry's arms and shoulders. Julius Randle, we've seen the pictures on social media. I could go down the roster, but come up to me and say, hey, these guys look in world-class shape already. I think you can see that transformation, Mike, from the work that everyone's put in the last couple months. It's very noticeable.
Just going back 1 second, you said you're really satisfied a moment ago with the 15 guys you have. In your mind, do you think that final roster spot has already been taken?
I meant the guys we have in camp. We have 20 total players in camp, and Irvin and I will allow Luke to kind of fill that last spot. We think that's a really important thing. Magic and Luke and I have worked in a very integrated way where all the decisions are made collaboratively. We all believe in a philosophy that the front office and the head coach in particular, should be very aligned. So, gosh, the meetings we've had over the offseason, I mean, it's daily. Luke is one of the hardest working head coaches. He was in this building, almost all the time this offseason putting in the work. But we'll probably let that last decision be his.
Hey, Rob, can you talk about how competitive the Western Conference is, all these players that came over to the West, how can that actually be advantageous to some of these young players when they're ready for something?
That's a good point. I mean, we've seen with even recent trades how the West is even tilting towards more power. And, I have a 9-year-old son who's in AAU basketball. And there's this concept we all know for parents in the room or people that grew up playing sports, that exposure to a level up of competition is the best way to actually grow as a player and to increase your skills. So I love and relish the fact that the West has gotten so incredibly strong with these teams at the top. And I think it's the perfect way for our young, hungry, scrappy core group of guys to grow and to become better and to get a taste of what it means to be great. And then that'll challenge them to continuing to put in the work. So playing in the Western Conference, which is such a power conference now, is actually a great opportunity for us.
Expectations are real high for Lonzo. Are you comfortable with that, or not? Or is it just a case of the more you can put on, the better it is?
You guys tell me, but Lonzo strikes me as a person that's not really affected by some of the huge expectations. I think he grew up in a house where, his dad was making predictions about the future. So he knows that the expectations are big. I think one of the things that we've tried to do with Lonzo in particular is just tell stories to him, and Magic is perfect for this, and my experience with Kobe are ideal for this, but to just kind of tell stories to him, and frankly all our young players, about what it takes not to be good but to be great. And he grasps that. So Josh Hart, Kyle Kuzma, Lonzo, these guys have been coming back. This facility is 24/7. We all have key cards and it's open, and our security is here around the clock. That was one of the things that Jeannie Buss thought was really important, that we're so thankful to her about. But the ball is pounding sometimes at 9, 10 at night. I had a few late nights of work here, and all of a sudden there's Julius out there shooting, Lonzo coming in doing ball handling drills. I always used to say to my clients when I was an agent, if you just do what the team tells you to do, you'll probably be a middle of the pack player, because that's what every player in the NBA is doing. But if you want to go from a middle of the pack player to the top, it's that extra stuff you have to put in. I told Lonzo the other day, I said, I remember seeing workouts when Kobe would literally work on the angle of his jab step and break it down to the centimeters for an hour so that he could perfect attacking the defensive opponent. Where's his top foot? How is it angled? How can I get by him and create a millisecond of space to convert? And so I think telling those stories to our young guys helps them understand what it means to go from good to elite.
Who on your roster now, Rob, kind of reminds you of that work ethic that Kobe has?
One of the things we've tried to do, Jim, is in our study of both free agents and draft picks, Magic and Luke and I, the first day we got together, we said, what is the DNA of a Lakers player? What does it mean to put on the gold jersey? And we came up with a list of our DNA, and it has a lot of those things in it. In fact, you'll see we gave the guys some training camp T-shirts that have the Lakers logo with those DNA components embedded in it, just so that they could understand that's close to everything we're doing. And I think all the people we try to bring in, we want to make sure fit that. I think, it's just been awesome to see our young guys grasp that. Like I told you, Kyle Kuzma went out and hired a nutrition or a chef to work with our nutritionist. We hired a wellness coordinator on the Lakers now named Kristen Andrews. And everything she's doing for the players is individualized. So Jim, you walk in the morning, you might have a juice drink or something that's customized towards your needs, your energy level. How are you sleeping? Kristen is working with every player. Kyle Kuzma went out and hired his own chef so that the stuff he could be fueling his body with would help him perform. Then when the guys leave, there's going to be a protein shake that has their name on it. So it's not just a big batch of protein drink that every single player drinks the same thing, but it's, okay, what Brandon Ingram needs in how he's trying to develop muscle and mass might be different than what Ivica Zubac has. And so I think our players are grasping that across the board because they have the DNA we're looking for.
I'm not sure what you can say publicly about everything that happened this summer with the campaign investigation, but sort of what was the experience of that, and what does the organization do moving forward to have?
Yeah, listen, so this is how I was raised, and I'm trying to raise my two kids the same way, is that when you make an error of judgment or a mistake in life, the first thing you have to do is you have to take accountability for that. And I've done that, and Magic's done that. And then you have to learn from it, and you have to get better. And I think we've committed as an organization, and I have too, to learn from that. The NBA sent a clear message. We heard what it is, and it'll never happen here again because we've learned. And I think the third thing you do is you move forward, and that's the stage we're in now. We've moved forward as an organization with a better understanding, and just really excited about training camp starting tomorrow and what the future holds for this team.
When you say a better understanding, is there some confusion on your part as to what you could say and couldn't say?
Again, as Ramona pointed out, the NBA has asked us to not talk specifics around that, so I'm going to abide by what they've asked us to do. But what I said is I feel good about.
Well, what are the expectations for Brandon Ingram?
Brandon Ingram, I think the word that comes to mind with him is leadership. He's one of our other leaders, and the way he's done it, I think, is he is fiercely competitive. And a lot of the pickup games and stuff, he's the guy that's going at you, trying to take you over. And he committed to being around here and working all summer long. Brandon's a quiet guy too. We have, quiet leaders that lead by example. I think that's a powerful way to lead. But I think the improvement that we've seen in his skills, his strength, and just his confidence level is unbelievable. I mean, in the end of games, of course, he's going to be one of those players that's going to have to step up and make plays both defensively and offensively. But Brandon Ingram, when I think of him, I think of a Laker leader. He's definitely that for us this year.
Last question, please.
Serena?
I'm just curious, with all the attention on the young core, that Lonzo, Kyle, how have the guys that are returning, like Julius Randle and Jordan Clarkson, who maybe haven't been talked about as much, how have they kind of reacted to this?
Serena, everyone's bought in. I mean, you'll talk to Jordan. Jordan is one of our best guards in terms of attacking. In the pickup games that Magic and I watched, he committed to being able to be that guy who kind of breaks down a defender and gets to the basket. And I think he has the ability to play some 1 and some 2, and I think he's going to have a major, major role. And again, as a guy that's one of our leaders, I think Jordan, we love Jordan, and he worked extremely hard this offseason. I think he's going to be another player in the end of games that Luke can go to get a bucket. He's just got a knack to score. And both he and Julius have been incredibly positive. We just had Magic and I had an 11 o'clock meeting with the players to kind of go over the training camp stuff, and everyone was just like, man, this feels very new. It's the new building. It's a new leadership team. It's a new roster. We just can't wait for you guys and the fans to experience it. So, again, thanks for coming. I know this room's a little bit small, but appreciate everyone jamming in, and feel free to come find me anytime out on the court today. Thank you so much.